All right, guys. So, very first episode of Adventures of Big Dave. This is just a pinnacle moment for me. So, I've been wanting to do this, man. So, I'm happy to do it with you guys. I'm glad that you're, like I said, if you're new to the whole, Big Dave podcast, then welcome. And I hope you guys like what you hear. And I hope that you um, tune in again. I hope you guys enjoy it. What I want to do though, like I said, Adventures of Big Dave, that's the name I thought of. I'm open to changing it. If you guys can come up with a better idea or a better name for this podcast, I thought about changing it to like Adventures with Big Dave instead of Adventures of Big Dave. So if you guys like it the way it is, let me know. Leave me a comment. Uh, you can leave me a comment on all those outlets that the podcast is on. Or if you want to go to the Anchor app and actually get the Anchor app, go there and you can leave me a voicemail, kind of a voice message on there, and I can share that on the next episode, which is, pretty cool. So if you do that, I will promise that I will try to share that on the show. But should I leave it Adventures of Big Dave? Should I change it to Adventures with Big Dave or other? So should y'all come up with some ideas, and I'll either like share it and let everybody vote, or I'll just see something like bingo, that's it. But anyway, I'm up to changing it if it needs to be changed. Guys, we're just having fun here. That's all it is. We're just having a good time, hanging out, chilling. I don't know if you could tell, but usually, I got a little, something in the air when I record this. So just chilling, having a good time. All right. So I decided I would be cliche as F and just go with current events on the first episode. Let's talk about the shit that happened yesterday. And I wrote down some things that I thought was interesting. Nothing, like I said, I don't get into politics. Midway through, though, I read this one, and it was a game changer. And I said, I'm going to start out with this story. So, first story. Apparently, there is an asteroid that is bigger than the Empire State Building, and it's passing by Earth next week. This is the headline. The exact headline. Asteroid bigger than the Empire State Building, passing by Earth next week. Scientists say it's completely normal. Kind of a long headline, I will say. But yeah, that was that was it. So apparently, next week sometime, there's going to be a big ass asteroid fly by the planet. They said that this asteroid passing by is completely normal, but it got me to thinking. Now, this asteroid is 1,817 feet in diameter, they think, and there's nearly 900 of these asteroids in our solar system that's bigger than this asteroid. And it's the asteroid's name, if you're just curious, want to know what the name of the asteroid is. Asteroid 2006 QQ23. There's 900 of these in our solar system that is bigger or as big as this. And they said that if they have NASA, watching these things, and they call them near to Earth objects, and that they do it as a defense mechanism, which, yes, that is the best way to say it, because why else would we be watching these things? At least they got somebody watching our back. But they said that NASA has a space campaign that they would issue to fly out and to try to deflect the asteroid into a different path if one of these were to be in our line of fire. And it got me to thinking, man, first off, think about this. First off, this asteroid, like, I don't know, it said it would cause statewide damage. Now, I always thought like a big ass asteroid would like end all kinds of shit, right? Like, but maybe not. Um, I thought it'd be the end, like the extinction, like dinosaurs. But I guess, it would be a big catastrophe. But what if, like, the big asteroid was going to hit Earth, like the one that was going to wipe us out, right? The scientists knew it, and scientists were like, "Yo, Mr. President, there ain't nothing we can do, man. This shit's going, it's going to hit us, and we got like 6 months, or we got like a year. Like maybe they could, I don't know how long out they could, but let's say, we got 6 months, and this asteroid is, you know, online to hit us, or we got 3 months, and this asteroid is going to hit us, and it's going to wipe out everybody. Like there may be a few survivors, but they're going to be in, bunkers, shit like that. First question: do you think they'd even tell us? Do you think they would let us know that there's a big ass asteroid that's going to hit Earth and it's going to wipe us all out? Or do you think they'd be like, all right, we need to inform the people? I personally don't think they would tell anybody. I personally think, like, especially our government, like, I think they would just secretly not say shit, and they would start their plan of how they're going to survive. I'm sure they go, like I said, some kind of underground bunker or something, or whatever, and they figure out what they're going to do afterwards. But what if they did tell us? Like, do you know how wild the world would be for, like, if they like came out and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, there's a possible asteroid that's going to hit us in a year from now. We don't know if it's going to hit, but we're about 85% sure that this motherfucker's going to hit us and kill everything." And they tell everybody that. What in the world have y'all? I'm sure people's thought of that. Like, what would we do as a human civilization? How would people act? Like, of course, you'd have certain people that would just get right with God immediately. Like, they'd be going back to church. They'd find their religion real quick. Then you'd have other people who would just go buck fucking wild, right? Like, just go out fucking bitches with no rubbers. Motherfucker like, shit, I ain't never done heroin. Let's do heroin. I ain't never done crack cocaine. Let's do crack cocaine. Like, I bet you people would be wild. Like, people would be trying to do, like, everything they've ever wanted to do, and people would be doing shit illegal as hell all the time. Like, murders would just skyrocket, I bet. Like, shit like that people would go crazy, man. I think people would go crazy. People, like, there'd be no need to even, like, there would be people probably, like, go try to rob banks and shit like that, or try to get as much money as they could for, like, that last few months and just, like, live it up. What would you do? Do you know what would you do? Like, if you knew you're gonna be in fine health, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people, like, they get terminal cancer or something, and the doctor's like, hey, you got 6 months, Well, all you can do is try to fight. That's all you can do at that point. Try to fight to stay alive. But if you know that you can go out and do whatever you want, kind of, not whatever you want, but if you want me, yeah, technically you can go do whatever you want, but oh man, what would you do? What would I do? That's a good question. I would probably try to I would probably just spend as much time with my loved ones, my mom, my sister, and my friends that I care about. I would definitely not worry about money. I'm saying any money I had would just. I mean, hell, people wouldn't even be going out to their. People would quit their job, man. People would quit their job. People would just wild out. I assume that's what most people would say they do. I just spend time with my loved ones. Well, behind closed doors, shit be going on crazy. Motherfuckers be cheating on their husbands and wives left and right. People's wildest, inhibitions, they just let go. Especially like that last 2 weeks. Like, what if you could see it in the sky for like a week before it happened or something like that? Like, oh, damn, there it is. It's coming. Yeah. So, scientists, though, say that it's not a big deal. It's completely normal. No big deal. Don't worry about it. See, I'd heard something years ago about a big asteroid that was heading this way, and like, or it was supposed to hit about this time. So when I seen that, I guess that just caught my attention. Like, maybe they're not, maybe they're telling us it's completely fine and it's going to pass by us. What if it ain't though? And they know it. And in the report, it said it would do statewide damage, not worldwide damage, statewide damage. But that's like, see, I thought you would get all that, everything would die, and like there would be clouds everywhere from the debris, and like nothing could live, is what I thought. But who knows? All right, so that's the first story there on a. What would you do? Think about that. What would you do if you knew, you had this asteroid going to hit the Earth? Probably. What do you think the world would do? They would act crazy. I guarantee it. Now, another story that I saw, for some reason, this one caught my attention, and just caught my attention. An Ohio woman has her arms and legs partially amputated after it caused by dog saliva. Like dog saliva somehow, I guess, got into her skin or her pores, somehow her bloodstream. I don't know if it was licking on a cut or what, but she may need more surgeries, they say. It says the doctor said it was just a rare perfect storm. And said she started, here's what got me. She started feeling ill in May. Man, it's August. She started feeling ill in May after returning from Punta Cana. I did not know what that was. I'm just a country boy, I ain't know. I know what I thought Punta meant, but Punta Cana, and it's actually the easternmost tip of the Dominican Republic. And so somehow, some way, I don't know what this dog had. Actually, I wasn't able to read all the story or catch all the story because I had some other shit going on. So I didn't get the actual, I don't know if it was a name of the disease or whatever. But yeah, if you want to look it up, you can look it up. But yeah, so an Ohio woman has her arms and legs partially amputated. She may need more, surgeries because of dog saliva. Just random shit, man. Random asteroids hitting Earth. Random dog saliva just get in your bloodstream and kill you when you go to Punta Cana. I don't know. Crazy shit. All right, guys. So I don't know how this is going so far. We're about 13 minutes in. You might not be able to tell, but I got up for a second. I had to go get a drink. And my old dog, my beagle hound Sadie, she's like 17 years old. She's the definition of an old bitch, like for real, because sometimes she just wants me to be in the same room with her. Like she goes to my bedroom and lays down, and if I'm in the living room watching TV or doing something else, she'll just start barking. Just barking in the middle of the night for no damn reason. But she's 17 years old, so I give her a pass. I had a friend on Facebook mention something today about an explosion in Kentucky, and I sleep during the day, so I knew nothing about it. Plus, like I said, I don't really keep up with the news, but evidently there was an explosion in Lincoln County, and I saw a video of it, and I mean you could see a big ass flame in the air. I guess it was caused by a gas leak. So yeah, in Lincoln County there was an explosion, killed one lady, 5 of them injured, and it started in, ironically, the Indian Camp Trailer Park. When I seen trailer park, I was like, damn, they was cooking up a big batch, but evidently it was a gas leak. So anyway, so yes, I did not see or hear about an explosion in Kentucky, but I thought, well, I didn't see or hear about it, but it definitely could have happened in my bedroom because while I was sleeping, because man, I've been trying to eat healthy, y'all, like eat better foods and stuff, and I had a cheeseburger from McDonald's last night for the first time in months. And man, I woke up, my gut was tore up. Man, my stomach did not like that one bit. So maybe I blew some stuff. I knew I blew up the toilet. There was an explosion in my bathroom when I got up, but yeah, I didn't know about no explosion in Lincoln County Trailer Park, but there was. So yeah, good call on that one. Also in the news I saw earlier, R. Kelly, I guess, is going to jail again or something, man. I don't know. Has he been convicted or has he just been like arrested? I mean, has he been convicted? What is he getting convicted of? Sex with a minor? Because as far as I know, like I thought all the girls was of age, like that they can prove, and the only one that they couldn't prove was that girl from the piss tape. So I don't know. Shit. I mean, hell, we all know he's a fucking sicko. We all know he likes little girls. So, but yeah, R. Kelly, man. There's this fucking story, man. I don't care. I don't know if y'all saw the Surviving R. Kelly documentary that was on Lifetime. I watched every episode of that shit, dog. And them bitches got together as a unit. They came together. They was like, R. Kelly, he was mentally abusive, physically abusive. Well, I'm just like, man, first off, there was one family there, husband and wife, that said that he took his daughter was a teenager. I don't think she was even. I know she wasn't legal age at the time. And said she wanted to be a singer, so he's going to the R. Kelly concert with her. R. Kelly asks her to get on stage, and then she goes backstage with R. Kelly. And Daddy was like, "Well, I wasn't. I really didn't like it, but it's R. Kelly." Yeah, exactly, motherfucker. It's R. Kelly. You should have been back there immediately trying to tell this dude, "Hey, man, where's the fuck's my daughter? Like, I need her now. Now." I mean, some of this falls on the parents too. I'm not saying it's their fault, like, all the way, like, but some of these situations, you gotta be like, hold on, man. We've known R. Kelly was fucked up for a while. Like, we've known R. Kelly had a problem. We knew he had a problem and he liked little girls. And everybody knew that. And you gonna let your daughter go hang out with R. Kelly? Come on, man. Come on now, man. You gotta be smarter than that. But people are stupid. What was that? What was that? Was it a Netflix documentary where damn, I forgot the name of that documentary where the dude was had I don't know what it was, man, but this guy was like sleeping with this guy's wife, and then he was fucking the husband and the wife. Like, wow, man. People are nuts, y'all. People are crazy. People are crazy. People are crazy. I'm telling you, they are nuts. They are crazy. Without a shadow of a doubt, they are crazy. And another thing, remember, if R. Kelly, man, if you've known this about this man, and we've known this for so long, but it's just the documentary. You got to see the documentary if you haven't, because it's very interesting just for the simple fact of how they talk about it. Like, man, we've known this about R. Kelly, but then he'll drop "I Believe I Can Fly" and everybody forgets. Like, everybody's like, "Oh, he's a good, wholesome dude." They're singing this song in churches and shit. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, evidently I saw some video. I didn't actually read the story. I just seen it, a clip of it. Him coming off some plane. I guess he's going to jail or getting arrested. I don't know exactly what it is. Um, now, two things. First, I know I said that I wasn't going to talk about politics and stuff like that, and I'm not. But one thing that I did see about politics, Michelle Obama said that there's no chance that she would run for president, and in quotations it said, "It's just not for me." Now, a lot of presidential candidates have said that before. I believe that she could win it if she ran. I really do. I believe. I believe she'd be a good president. I don't know for sure. I'd have to. I don't really know a lot about that, but that would be, a really big step for this country, though. To have not only a female a first female president, but a black female president. That would say something about this country. But let me say this, and hell, I might catch hell for it. But don't you think sometimes these, like, I know the initial movements that get started and things are done for the right reason. Like, and I hate to use this one as an example, but like the Me Too movement, and people saying, "Well, I voted for Barack Obama because we need a black president," and people get behind these things. But don't you think sometimes, man, like even Trump, man, like look at Trump, like people hate Trump, you know what I'm saying? But the people that love Trump, then they love Trump like with a passion, like that's the best thing that's ever happened to them. But don't you think these things are more like everything in society right now? It's like it starts out kind of, with good intentions, and people don't think of it to be, blowing up and could become a huge thing, and then it gets the hip and it's like a fad. It's like that's what's cool now is catching on to being woke. You know what I mean about your situation and things. Now, don't you think that some of these people are influenced just because the people that they follow on Instagram or Twitter or even Facebook, like these people are influenced by other people's opinions before they even know the facts about things a lot these days. And that's why I don't really get into that politics stuff, because anyone, and I forgot which comedian it was, it might have been Chris Rock, but there was a comedian one that said anyone who makes up their mind about a situation or something going on before they hear all the facts, anyone that does that is ignorant, or they're just stupid, because, not every situation is the same. You can't say I'm definitively against this, and you can't bring me the situation like I don't want to hear it, I'm against it. And that's why, I don't get into that. But you've got people, I feel like sometimes it's just whatever's the hip thing that's, pressing at the moment, whether it be, and it goes on both sides. Like they do it so smart. It's so smart how they do it. You had Black Lives Matter, then you had, well, Blue Lives Matter, and then, you have, stuff like the immigrations and the building the wall. Like people are really, they, and social media has made it to where these people voice their opinions so much that they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. They're not doing the research and making an educated statement. They're just throwing it out there. And that's what scares me about that stuff is, I'm not a Donald Trump supporter. I was not a Hillary Clinton guy. I mean, I didn't like either one of those candidates. Um, Donald Trump to me, man, and here's the deal. I'm actually a very patriotic person. I believe in the system. I believe that if everything is held accountable and done properly, that it's the America has the greatest, America's the greatest country in the world, has the best democracy if it's done properly. Yes, there's flaws, but you know, damn, it's just I don't know, man. People just don't have an educated. They don't educate themselves anymore. I was going on to something there, and I kind of got on a sidetrack. Sorry about that. But I believe this country is the best country in the world, and I'm proud to be here. And if that's wrong, then okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you think that's wrong, then that's fine. You can believe that. You know. Uh, but with Trump, I'm not a big fan of his. But I try to support our president, even if I don't like the president. When I heard Trump was going to get elected, I was like, man, like, is this serious? He's running? Like, before I said, there's no way. I told someone, I said, there's no way he'll win. That motherfucker won the Republican shit. I was like, wow. And then he won the whole thing. So Trump's one of those presidents where like I want him to say the right thing, and sometimes it's like they give him just like they give him an underhand softball pitch. Like, all right, here's a question. You know the correct answer. Just say what's politically correct and say what's right, and like the whole thing in Virginia where And they said, what do you think about, the race? Well, that guy hit everybody with their car. I said, well, there were good people on both sides. Like, dumbass. Like, why you gotta say that was horrible? So, you know what I'm saying? The people that did that, the people involved in that, they did that's horrible. We don't support that shit. You know what I'm saying? And but he doesn't do things like that. He does it his way. But that's one thing I said I wasn't going to talk about is politics, but I talked about it for about 5 minutes and 30 seconds just because I was talking about Michelle Obama. I also said I wouldn't talk about wrestling, but while I was searching current events, they did post what the card so far for SummerSlam is going to be. So I'm just going to go down over it. I'm not going to get in detail, guys, so don't freak out. But they said Daniel Bryan is going to come up to be Roman Reigns, the mystery attacker. And the matches were SO. Rollins and Brock at the top, so I guess it's going to be the main event. Orton versus Kofi, Ricochet versus AJ, Natalya versus Becky in a submission match, Ember Moon versus Bayley, Kevin Owens versus Shane. If Kevin Owens loses, he will quit. Trish Stratus versus Charlotte Flair. That's one thing that happened on SmackDown that I didn't get into. And also what happened is Sami Zayn versus Aleister Black. And there's rumors that it will be Dolph Ziggler versus Bill Goldberg. Everyone knows how I feel about Bill Goldberg. I do not care about Bill Goldberg. I do not care for Bill Goldberg. So he can just do whatever he wants. It doesn't bother me. So that's all I'm going to talk about it. That was the card for SummerSlam. I could talk about that all night for a whole another hour just about the card for SummerSlam. But I'm not going to do that. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about sports a little bit. I did see there was some sports on the tube, guys. I'm a kind of a football fan. I have not been watching football for like 3 years now, man. I don't know why. I used to watch now I still watch the Notre Dame football games because I'm a big Notre Dame football fan, but I usually know the score and the highlights of the game before I watch it because I'm asleep at noon. You know what I'm saying? When most people are having lunch, I'm asleep. So a lot of the games I don't get to see, and even if it's a night game, it's on the weekend, and I'm definitely not going to be able to get off work on the weekend. So I record all of the Notre Dame football games, and even if I know the score and who won, I'll watch it. Uh, I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. Used to watch them every Sunday. I have Sundays off. But again, I sleep now in the afternoon, and most of those games are in the afternoon. And I don't know what it is, but I just have not, I have not been watching football as much as I used to. Like, I can hardly sit down and watch a game like live anymore. And I want to watch more football this year because, you know, hell, I'm paying for DVR. Might as well watch it, right? But anyway, so today in sports, or yesterday, they had the Hall of Fame game on TV, which is they have the Football Hall of Fame, and then they have the like a little preseason game. And last night, it was the Atlanta Falcons versus the Denver Broncos, and the Denver Broncos won 14-10. I did not watch the game, but it was cool seeing football on TV. That lets you know. It's certain things in life that trigger. It's about to change into this season. It's about to be fall again. So coming up soon before you know it. And seeing a little football on TV, nothing wrong with that. Speaking of football, there is, for all you video game fans out there, all my buddies out there, if you're my age, if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, especially in the 90s, and played, you were a video gamer kid like I was, if you like sports, you played Madden football. Madden, everybody knows Madden football. Everybody's played Madden football probably at some point in time in their life. If you've played video games at all, you've seen people play it at least, Madden football is the only football game out. And, they used to have college football, but they can't have it anymore because of They would use the likeness of the players and copyrights, I guess, for the, I don't know if it was for the college teams at one point were with EA Sports, and um, I don't know, they just couldn't make one for 2K, I guess, without, I don't know how they get around it. But anyway, that's the whole thing. But Madden is technically comes out on August 3rd, but if, with these games now, if you buy it early, pay a little extra, you'll get certain perks, more points or something to your player to add to. And then you can also play the game early. And I have played every Madden that's ever come out. The only Madden that I have not played was the very first Madden that came out on PC. And it was the first football game that I believe had 11 players on offense and defense. But anyway, so Madden, you can get it now if you pay a little extra. And I haven't been playing the video games as much as I used to. And I wanted to get Madden because I've got it every year. Like, I've gotten Madden every year that I've played. Like, every year it's come out, I have played some version of Madden football. And it's not been that good lately. Like, Madden really hasn't been that good. And it's funny how games like that, like Madden football, when I was growing up, playing the games, like the big deal for me that I love to do was, you'd make a franchise. You'd have your team, you'd draft your players, you'd cut your players, you'd make trades, you'd play the season. At the end of the season, you start a new one, re-sign your players, draft new players. And with technology and the way that it's changed and the way it's moved, a lot of these sports games, and especially sports games, but a lot of these games are more driven towards online play and playing, online with somebody, which we would have loved to do as kids, but now it's a possibility. But the online play is pushed so much because there's so many perks of that you can buy for these games. Like, you can buy card packs and make your players better. And people don't play the franchise as much because that's like a one player experience. You can have a season and have two or three teams that other people play against you. But they're more focused on the part of the game that people play online, because those are the games where, if I want to get a Marshall Faulk gold card, per se, you'd have to actually spend real money to buy these packs of cards, virtual cards that you open and try to find a Marshall Faulk gold card. Like, so I seen somewhere where EA Sports, their online, what they call it, in-game transactions, in-game currency stuff, microtransactions is what they call it for this game. It's like, if you want the new maps on Call of Duty and you have to pay X amount of dollars to download the new maps, or a lot of games do this now. And EA Sports, who makes Madden, 28% of their profit last year came from microtransactions in the games that they make. Now, they are the number 8 video game company in the country, or the world, I guess. And you're telling me 28% of their profits came from microtransactions in the games that they have. So why would they not, just push it up more and push it up more and focus on that? So this year, Madden, I looked at it and I've seen the reviews, and like, everybody says the gameplay is much better, because the past few Maddens I really have not gotten into. Like I said, I hadn't been watching football. Maybe that's got something to do with it. But they haven't focused on the franchise mode, which is what I played. And so I've noticed that now they said they're going to focus on the franchise in Madden 20. All they did was add the Pro Bowl, and it's pretty much the same game. So I don't know. I'm torn. Do I want to get Madden or do I not want to get Madden? Do I want to get it early and try it, or do I want to just wait until August 3rd and pay the regular price? I don't know. Sorry, guys, if you don't care about that, but that's just something. We was talking about sports, so let's start talking about Madden football. That's like that. I don't play golf, but I like playing Tiger Woods golf. I don't play basketball anymore, but I like playing 2K basketball. Anyway, well, guys, this is a test run, but it is officially the first episode of the Adventures of Big Dave with Big Dave. You guys come up with an idea. Tell me if you want it to be Adventures of Big Dave like it is. Should I change it to Adventures with Big Dave? Or maybe something completely different. I want you guys to tell me, give me some ideas of some different stuff. I want to end the show with this before we go. Now, tonight I had my job at the club. For those of you that do not know, I'm sure everybody knows by now, but I am a DJ at a strip club. And tonight at the club, somebody came up and asked me, they said, David, like, man, how you doing? What are you doing with your music? You still making music? I see you got your podcast out, but are you still making music? And I got off early tonight because we were so dead. So I said, I'm going to go downtown. And I was proud of myself, man. I went down there. I did not drink a drop of alcohol. And I saw a guy who's also a musician, but he mentioned he come up to me and he mentioned, man, how are you doing with your music? How's everything going? And I kind of was like, man, it's okay. I think I want to talk about my music. I want to talk about what's going on, and I've never had writer's block or anything like that. I've never experienced that. Maybe that's what this is in a way, but I don't think it's that. It's more of a frustration with my writing, with the music, because I've made music for a long time, and you hear, of course, nobody ever comes, well, at least nobody's ever come up to me and like, just flat out, man, you suck, or man, you need to think about doing something else. Like, I had somebody, when I used to rap, I remember I was trying to sell my CD, and some guy looked at it, and he said, the Good Old Boys, that's the name of the group. He said, man, don't nobody want to listen to that shit, white boy. And he threw my CD across the parking lot. He literally threw the CD, case and all the way across the parking lot. And I humbly walked my big ass down the parking lot and bent over and picked up that CD because it cost me money and I could sell that for $5. That was money to me, he just threw across the parking lot. But it was, I'm not going to lie, back then, me and Josh, me and OE, man, when we was grinding out those CDs, making those records and stuff, man, doing our own thing. And, man, a lot of times, man, we wouldn't have ate if it wasn't for those tapes and stuff we was selling. But I've made music for a long time, man. I've done music for a long time in some way, some form, shape, or fashion. And I've always felt like I was really good at my craft. Like, but I wasn't like, I didn't think I was better than anybody, but I've always felt like, man, I got this. I know what I'm doing. I got this. If that makes any sense. Like, I knew how to do it. And, I've always worked with really good people. I've always worked with people that I got along with pretty well. There's been a few people I've worked with that pushed my buttons to the fullest of extremes, but at the end of the day, some of the assets that they brought to the table were too good to send them away from the table, if that makes any sense. So with me, you know, when I did the last album, the EP, I really I really poured a lot of emotion into that record, and I wanted it to be something that was not therapeutic, but that wasn't like that's selfish to say, but I wanted it to be therapeutic, but I wanted it to be a record that could um, help other people and a record that could inspire other people to try and get out of the funk. And after I recorded that record, and I'm going to say this with no um, evil intent in my heart. After I recorded that record, I felt like the people involved with it, like the people that they knew how much that meant to me, you know, and and not necessarily that they felt that way, but I think maybe they felt like, not saying that they felt that way, but I think they could sense that it was almost a part of me that felt complete with getting all that out. And it was a record that I think very few people expected. So I think it was like nobody came out and said, man, this record's garbage. But it's not, it wasn't a record for nobody else but me. So it's never, I can't, right to this day, I can't tell you how many of them were sold, I don't know that stuff. Uh, but I do know that when it was taken well. I mean, I think people responded, heard it and liked it. I would assume. I don't know, but it didn't get a lot of like. It didn't get like no press or what I'm saying. It didn't get like no reviews or anything like that. It wasn't really It wasn't like groundbreaking, and not that I expected anything of it. Like I didn't like not that I expected. Okay, this record's gonna put me on another level. That's not what I'm trying to say here. I'm more of I just wanted it to be recognized. Like I wanted people to understand what it was, and I wanted people to know it, and I just wanted people to recognize it for what it was and how much I thought it was different than anything and that had been out, and it was a solid record. So you know I've never had any kind of ambitions of being some big huge star. Now maybe when I was younger, and you know listening to G Unit, maybe then I thought, man, one day I'm gonna blow up, man. But I've never thought that. But throughout my so-called musical career, there's been moments that I was really close to like getting to that next level, you know, um, and something would happen, something somehow, some way, and it would just kind of not happen. So it happened so many times, in just different situations, different things, and everybody gets let down, I guess. And I don't mean that the record let me down because it didn't. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying everybody gets those moments in their life where they're just kind of like, man, this didn't meet my expectations. And it hurts your feelings sometimes, you know what I mean? Like it gets you down and out. And you can only be disappointed so many times in things to where continuing to do it makes you feel kind of weak in a way. So with the music that I'm doing now, that I'm wanting to do now, I'm torn a little bit because, and I always get this way before I do something. I was torn before I did the next EP. I'm torn because I know that what I want to do is going to be way different than what next was. And it's funny because if people listen to Shot Time and Cigarettes, the band I was in before I did the next record, that was the Shot Time and Cigarettes stuff was way different than next. And the stuff I'm wanting to do now is more Shot Time and Cigarettes, but less rock, like less hard rock, more of everything I want to do now is I just want to be happy and make music that makes me feel good and make music that makes my friends and everybody that listens feel good. And I've never had problems expressing my feelings because most of my feelings have always been the stuff that I've written about. It has been my way of getting those deep down feelings out of me. So I'm having a little trouble correlating exactly how I want to come across. And then you start thinking, well, man, do you want to put yourself out there like that again? Do you want to give yourself the grief of this of you'll never meet your expectations? You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'll never meet my expectations on anything that I do, and that's one of the problems I have. So right now, because it's hard for me to correlate what I'm thinking, because I am so unsatisfied with everything, it's harder for me to get this out right now. So what am I doing with my music? I don't know just yet. I know how I want to come back, and I know how I want to do it, but it's just finding the pieces and putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. And once I get those pieces together, framing it up and putting it on the wall and letting everybody see it. So, I have some secret stuff coming up that I'm not even announcing yet. Nobody's announced it yet. I'm not going to announce it. And I am working on stuff. I'm not happy with anything that I've written down yet. So I'm going to dust off some old tools and start working on some new stuff. And hopefully I'll have some brand new music for you guys, hopefully by mid-September. And that is my goal. So, man, this is again, I'm going to let you guys go. That was kind of the last little part. People had a lot of people ask me about what I want to do with the music, what I'm doing with the music. And no, I've not, I don't know. I'm fighting. I'm fighting against myself right now. And it'll come out. And when it comes out, it's going to be beautiful. I have a process. And people get so pissed off if they work with me sometimes with my process. But I do it this way for a reason. So, yes, be on the lookout. We will have some new. I will have some. We will have some. Whoever will have some. You'll hear me singing some songs, hopefully, very soon, some new music. All right. I don't know how that went, man. I don't know if it was good. I don't know if it was bad. Guys, give me suggestions. I did this with the wrestling review too. I wanted people to give me criticism, good and bad. So, guys, give me some critiques. I want to hear what you got to say. Share this. Let your friends hear it. And let them know this is not a wrestling podcast. This is just me talking and shooting shit. And you can follow me again at DVL Music on Instagram. That's my personal Instagram. You can go to the Facebook, David Vaughn Lindsay. Also, if you want to be a VIP member, you can go to the Big Dave Club on Facebook and Instagram and be a VIP club member of the Big Dave Club. Also, we're on Spotify, iTunes, Anchor. I will put this on YouTube just to see how it does on YouTube. And if you guys would like to donate, $1 a month is the minimum, man. Just 99 cents a month. You can do it one time and then cancel. But if you want to donate, go to the Anchor app, anchor.fm, and look up, you got to look up the Big Dave Wrestling Review. You should just be able to go to it through a link. But anyway, there's a place there where you can support this podcast. And if you go there, you can give me $1. You can do it from month to month if you want. If you just want to do it one time, do it one time. But it helps me out, guys. And I really would appreciate any donations are grateful. And of course, those are totally voluntary. It is not required by any means. All right, guys, I can't believe I talked for 51 plus minutes, so I don't even know how much the opening was, so I talked longer than I thought I would. Thank you, guys. I hope this was not a complete failure, and you can catch me next Monday. We will have, or Monday or Tuesday morning, we'll be back to Big Dave Wrestling Review as we review Monday Night Raw. You guys have a great week, and I will talk to you later. It's the weekend, baby.